Before Omega found her place in the batch, Wrecker was the designated kid brother. His behavior early on reminds me a lot of an ADHD teen in the testosterone-soaked throes of puberty, but the batch don't really have any desire to change that about him. Even when Crosshair remarks, "Grow up, Wrecker," it feels like the kind of affectionate, sarcastic statement a sibling might make when they're acknowledging that there are some things you just can't change.
Sorry. I just got excited.
And though Crosshair might be the one most outwardly annoyed by Wrecker, he also encourages his immaturity. Tech does this too, and so does Hunter, because Wrecker links them to a part of themselves that they are all clinging to, their childhood. No clone has ever had a proper childhood, so they preserve that in Wrecker as best they can, because he doesn't always need to be a disciplined soldier. He's shown that he is capable when he needs to be, so why squash his playful nature? Wrecker is fun. He has fun, which is something that is lacking in your life when, you're a soldier.
This is the happiest day of my life.
But then Omega appears in their lives, and the focus shifts from Wrecker to her. It's her innocence in childhood that they are all dedicated to preserving, and Wrecker is finally given the opportunity to grow into something more. And while all the other members of the batch also have this opportunity, it's a little bit different from Wrecker, because instead of having to course correct his adulthood to become a father or an uncle or a big brother, or however you see any of them, or a mom, because, Echo becomes a mom.
Where the discs go. And where's Omega?
Wrecker has to acknowledge that he can no longer be the baby of this group, and it really is time for him to grow up. Not only does he learn that he has to put Omega's needs first, he starts to change how he views Omega. At first, he sees her as a fellow child, as someone that he can engage and play with, but soon he begins to recognize that she is truly a child, and he is an adult, and he has plenty to offer when it comes to providing Omega a happy home. By the end of Season 2, he's shifted from a sibling playing with another sibling to sort of an uncle figure who gets out of his chair after a long day with a groan and a spine crack to go play with his little niece. But what transforms him even more into the person we see in Season 3 is when he loses both Tech and Omega. Wrecker really rode the entire war on a wave of your typical teenage invincibility complex, but now that he realizes that his squad isn't invincible, he acts a lot less joyous to go somewhere dangerous. In fact, he is even the one to caution Hunter about going without proper backup. Wrecker, once a voice calling for explosives, is now a voice of reason? Who would have thought? Though maturity hasn't altered him beyond recognition, it has evolved him. Notice as he stands in front of the Daveronian matriarch that he doesn't loudly complain about the pit they are standing over, yet he is immediately vocal about the smell of the jungle. Wrecker has actually learned that there is a time and place. He doesn't lose his mind when running away from the vine monster. And when the cadets dump Wrecker's explosives into its maw, he celebrates their victory instead of lamenting that he didn't get to do it himself. He definitely can still relate to the cadets, but he also carries himself as a leader and a mentor rather than being one of them. And most stunning of all, he's learned to translate his emotional intelligence into meaningful comfort for Hunter. Wrecker is keeping Hunter from losing his grip completely. Once the heart of the team, always the heart of the team.